Hey everybody, it's Rockman and C. Ray Johnson here with another video. This one we're discussing exercise and exercising through your pain, and not the kind of pain that you're thinking. So, you ever have those days like myself where you feel like this awesome badass and you're ready to put everything into a workout and you can crank it out until you're completely fatigued, and then you feel crushed, but then when you're done you feel amazing, right? And that's great for somebody that's in the fitness industry, or somebody that's looking to get an athlete, or somebody that's looking to get to a certain point in their exercise or their training goals or whatever. But if you're dealing with an autoimmune disorder or fibromyalgia,
even coming off of a brain injury, you need to be more cautious and careful about what you do, and things to look out for, when to know when to stop. When your body says that this pain, you should stop and you shouldn't work through.
Right. So story's a little bit different in those cases. And even when you're feeling fine, you don't push through pain. But we're talking about a different kind of pain, and the movement, and I'll let Carolyn take over in a second, but doing those movements are actually much more beneficial to you than you realize. Again, it's not that pain of being crushed, right, where it hurts and you're damaging yourself. So I'll let Carolyn take over from here, and she can discuss the types of pain that she goes through and how she gets through it.
First of all, when you have a brain injury, a lot of times you can be cleared from your doctor that everything's okay and you can get back to your normal activities, and a lot of times the doctors may not understand what your normal might be. They might just think normal everyday type of physical activity, but if somebody in the physical culture that is used to lifting heavy, that puts extreme pressure on your head, and then you can almost have like a rebound effect, almost like another head, act like another head injury,
Which you experienced.
like a second impact, and it could bring back all your symptoms all over again, what had happened to me. And because a lot of times the doctors can clear you if you walk on a treadmill, you're fine and you're good to go, but that's not necessarily the case, because there's so many other things that come into play since your injury. There's already damage and an inflammatory process going on in the brain. It just cascades down, hits your adrenals, hits your hormones, hits all of the body systems. And you can have problems with proprioception, and you can end up walking fine on a treadmill, very good, but still have issues that need dealt with. So little signs you need to look for. If anything changes, your concussion symptoms seem to be coming back, you need to get back to the doctor and mark everything down, the date, when it happens, what you're doing, when it happens, how long it lasts, what brought it on, what you did to help relieve it, anything. And just bring that back to the doctor's attention in case anything is resurfacing. Because when you have an injury, it takes a long time for that brain to heal, and it's not just 2 weeks, like so many healthcare providers may say. But when you're going through it, you kind of know the difference. And even so, when you're doing that, when you start to walk, everything comes into play. Sight, sound, smells. It hits all your senses, so it bombards you, and you may feel overwhelmed. And not only so, but the whole terrain. You have different terrain. Is it even? Is it shiny? Is there a glare? Is it wet? Is it leaf covered, gravel covered, stone? Anything that would add anything, even depth, like snow adds a big depth to it, not to mention the brightness bouncing off from the sun. That could just change your whole dynamic of you just trying to relearn to walk. And that's difficult, so it's good to have somebody with you to hang on to in case you get overloaded and your symptoms come back, so you have some type of stability and you can make it home safely. And it can affect your driving, if your proprioception's off, and so forth, because things may seem closer than they really are. If somebody puts their brake lights on in the car, all of a sudden it might seem like you're going to hit, or somebody's turning ahead of you. They could be several car lengths ahead, but to you, your environment, it seems a lot closer than it really is. So it's a whole hidden injury that nobody else realizes that's going on inside you, that's turning to chaos, how your brain and all the connections are now receiving everything and perceiving everything in your environment and what's going on in your bodily systems. But with that being said, it's a time to not give up. You have to keep persevering through and keep going and try to do it, and try to walk every day until you get to walking up a good speed and get that exercise in. You still need exercise. And then when you come into, like with this book, the dealing with traumatic brain injury, the connection, it's a autoimmune disease and fibromyalgia, the traumatic brain injury connection, because there is a connection from the inflammatory process going on in the brain that cascades down, and let's just go forward with it and talk about the stage was already set, disease process is setting in, now you have an autoimmune disease or fibromyalgia, or lots of times both. And now you have more pain. You may have joint pain, swelling, stiffness, achiness. You're not going to want to feel like moving. That's going to affect your mobility greatly. But you have to sometimes still work a little bit through the pain just to move around, not to the point where it's excruciating, your body says stop. You have to really monitor what's going on, pay attention. When your body says to stop, to listen, to do stop. But for your normal aches and stiffness and pain, and your feet will hurt, your knees, your hips, elbows, just everything hurts, your back and your head still. Sometimes you find with just walking, just moving, getting that mobility, and it'll help loosen up your joints. Stretching is great for flexibility, because you have to maintain mobility. You can't become stiffer and become contracted up with anything. So it's good to still stay mobile and positive. And a lot of times with fibromyalgia, you'll find that your pain will lessen. Even along your walk, there'll be a point where you can be able to move more, take wider strides, and you might notice when you start to slow down, your pain's back. But at least you got some physical activity in. And we discuss, like in the previous videos and throughout the book, different natural ways to help with pain relief that can help throughout that process. And even exercising that increases your endorphins, helps you feel good, and it helps reduce depression that so often accompanies this. Because when you don't feel like doing things, and when you're stiff, when you're in constant chronic pain all the time, it is depressing. But you have to keep that hope that you can get through the day, and then you're going to get through the next day and the next day and the next day, and just still stay mobile, do things that excite you, that take your mind off the pain, that you can focus on, like a dream that you still have, that you still want to accomplish, and you will, because you can face this and keep moving forward. And also in the book I talk about some great, fantastic tools, and I'm so excited. I have to do a shout out to my friend Matt Dahl. He came up with this fantastic tool that is just perfect. It's mobile. You can bring it in your own home. I'm so excited that, and I love it. It helps with neurofeedback. You can go to different physical therapies and neurofeedback sessions, and they're pretty pricey. But this allows you to do it in your own home at your ease and your comfort. It helps with strength, core strength, stability, balance, helps with proprioception issues, so you can start driving again and doing the things that normally bombard you and think you'll never be able to do these things again or be the same. But this tool, the way it is made, it's a godsend. And Matt, you're changing lives. It helps with Parkinson's disease, brain injuries, perfect. Helps with autoimmune disease, it resets the limbic system, the lymphatic system. It's
even
fantastic.
MS,
so I'm so
right?
excited to be
MS for mobility,
and even just you fitness gurus out there. It helps.
It's good for us too. Us strong
increase
guys.
your stamina, the strength. It's just amazing, and I've done other videos on that before. Perhaps you've seen them. It's called the Sandu, but I go in depth about this, and just other things in the book, just to help you stay positive. That there's always something you can do, even when the doctor tells you that's it, I don't know what to do, here's the drugs. You don't have to go that route. When a doctor says you've hit a plateau, there's nothing else you could do, there's always something else you can do to get back your health. Yep. So, food is medicine. You gotta claim back that health. You have one body and one life to live, to make the best of the most of it. I'm trying to say most and best at the same time.
The best of it.
It's already a mess, so now you gotta make the best of it. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to touch on that really quick. And
really quick, you can check out Carolyn's other books on CRayJohnsonAuthor.com.
Yep. And this book will be officially released in just a couple of weeks. We're just waiting for our proof cover, so we are taking pre-orders. It's going to retail for $15.99, but we'll do the pre-orders for $12.99 and send out PayPal invoices if anybody's interested. But
Right, and you'll get that without the shipping. So that'll be,
free
it'll be
shipping,
free shipping.
yeah. And but so many people are affected now because there's so much inflammation in our diets, inflammatory processes going on with injuries, especially head injuries, and just everything in the environment that there's ways to help combat this.
Absolutely.
So,
So keep your hope up, keep your faith up, and keep pushing forward. So, did you notice that when I'm in the camera, my hairline seems really far back?
Oh.
I've noticed that in all my previous videos. I'm like, boy, that's really changed.
So light in here,
So-
grab some branches.
So, anyways, with that, everybody, did you have anything else?
No, but thank you for watching.
God bless.
Soli Deo Gloria.
Peace out.